All right, guys, we're gonna hop right into it. Because I'm out here in the car and I'm reading my Bible, trying to get my life together because this is day two. If you know what day two means, good for you. If you don't know what day two is, don't worry about it. It's okay. All right, so look, I've been learning a lot about faith. God has been taking me through with these Israelites. And if you know anything about the Israelites, you know there's so many things to learn from them. Okay, we are reading right here from this word. Okay, this is the New Living Translation, so your translation may say something a little bit different, but it's the same thing, just different words. All right, here we go. Now the people complained about their hardships in the hearing of the Lord, and when he heard them, his anger was aroused. Then fire from the Lord burned among them and consumed some of the outskirts of the camp. When the people cried out to Moses, he prayed to the Lord, and the fire died down. So that place was called Taberah, because fire from the Lord had burned among them. Okay, what were they complaining about? Here we go. I'm sorry. This is verse 4. The rabble with them began to crave other food. And again, the Israelites started wailing and said, if only we had meat to eat. We remember the fish we ate in Egypt at no cost, also the cucumbers, melons, leeks, onions, and garlic. But now we have lost our appetite. We never see anything but this manna. All right? Remember that. Now, let's move on over to verse 31. Now a wind went out from the Lord and drove quail in from the sea. It scattered them up to 2 cubits deep all around the camp, as far as a day's walk in any direction. All that day and night and all the next day the people went out and gathered quail. No one gathered less than 10 homers. Then they spread out all around the camp. But while the meat was still between their teeth, and before it could be consumed, the anger of the Lord burned against the people, and he struck them with a severe plague. Therefore the place was named Kibroth Hattaavah, because there they buried the people who had craved other food. And from Kibroth to Hattaavah, the people traveled to Hazeroth and stayed there. All right, listen. The way you say he struck them with that food in their mouth, I'm hollering. Okay, let me tell you why I'm hollering, because this is what the Lord said to Moses. I'm gonna take y'all back. This is how I read my Bible. I don't know how y'all read y'all word, but this is how I read mine. So when Moses initially went up to talk to God and was talking about them complaining, God said, listen, where does it go? The Lord said to Moses, said to Moses, I heard you when you wailed, if only we had meat to eat. And this is verse 18. Let me back up. It said, tell the people, consecrate yourselves in preparation for tomorrow when you will eat meat. The Lord heard you when you wailed. If only we had meat to eat, we were better off in Egypt. Now the Lord will give you meat, and you will eat it. And you will not eat it just for 1 day or 2 days or 5 or 10 or 20, but for a whole month, until it comes out of your nostrils and you loathe it, because you have rejected the Lord who is among you, and have wailed before him, saying, why did we ever leave Egypt? Y'all, let me tell you something. This story of the Israelites, God was so fed up with them. I'm sorry, y'all. The Israelites, I was fed up with them too after I kept reading on and on about all this weeping and wailing and complaining, right? And I understand, yes, they were in a hard situation, but it also made me look at myself, and I had to think back to different times, different things when I was complaining to God about not having stuff, not getting stuff, and all of this, right? And I was like, God, it's me. It's me, it's us, weeping and wailing, complaining, not looking around at the provision that I have. And when I tell y'all, first of all, let me back up. So why did he strike them with the meat between their teeth? Because he was already providing them with manna. They were tired of the manna that they were getting out of nowhere. They were tired of getting food they didn't even have to work for or do anything for. They were tired of that. They wanted something else because what they were getting wasn't good enough. And how many times do we do that? God is providing, but we mad because what we got ain't good enough. Just chew on that. We're going to come back to it because I don't want this video to get too long. But y'all stop complaining, because I need y'all to know at the end of the story, those of you who know how many people went over into the promised land. Baby, the weeping and the wailing and complaining is why they never got, is why majority of them never got there. Only a handful went in, and why they circled forever. And I know you've heard this story, and a lot of sermons have been preached on it. You probably heard it preached at your church as well. But really go and read the full story for yourself. Read it in the Old Testament, and read it in the areas in the New Testament where they're also talked about again. Because there's so many things that we can glean from looking at the Israelites and going over into the promised land and what kept them in the wilderness for so long. But anyway, I'm gonna get off the soapbox about the Israelites because I'm starting to sweat because I got my air turned down in here, so y'all won't hear the air. But yeah, once again, just so you know, it's Numbers. I read Numbers chapter 11. I read verse 4, and then I read verse 18. Open your Bibles. All right? Okay.